Hello. Hello. Chloe. Sometimes I wonder, do people really think your opinion is going to matter in like even like 100 years? I mean, I heard somewhere from a brilliant person, 500 years from now, nobody will even know you ever existed. I mean, realistically, no matter how many followers, no matter how many pictures, no matter how many videos, what's it gonna matter? You know, I assume that the mainframe, the data collecting network that we call the cloud, you know, there's a storage facility somewhere that's collecting all of this useless information. Yeah, I even would so far include celebrities. I mean, you can look through the anus, the anus of history, the anals of history, and sure, there's a catalog, there's a back catalog for all these people who existed, but I mean, as much as people look at that and they think, oh well, that was 100 years ago. Look at some of the black and white footage, and the starlets and actors, you know, the bow hunks and starlets from the golden age, you know, anything, you know, a 1930 and above, 40s, 50s, 50s, 60s, you know, 40s, 50s. Let's just say, let's round off and say 30s. What, you know, I think crank animation, you know, late 20s, 30s. And it looks so primitive and it's so unattractive to most people. I'd say, like, you know, there's less than 10% out of 100% of people who give a shit about black and white footage film, you know. Even if you're a historian and a film buff and a this and a that, and you go to school, ooh. Do you really care? It goes back to that one scene, and I want to say it's Scream Part 2, where old you know, old Jamie Kennedy, and they go to film class, and I remember thinking to myself, you can go to school for that, for film, for analyzing film. I was young, I didn't know anything about school. I hated school. Sure as hell didn't want to go to college, no matter what you say. Even if it's paid for. Bunch of weird people. I just don't understand how people could think that, you know, the back catalog of your mundane average life is going to matter, you know, your opinion. I think of the basic posters, the people that post, you know, oh, what they had for food, what food they had today. You have to excuse me, I'm not human, so I don't really know what it's like to have to eat and give a shit about freaking any of that. I mean, is it gonna matter? You know, I understand everybody can do it now, but like, you know, who cares? Who cares? I mean, I just don't get it. You know, the way that the metabolism is, the way that the psyche and the technology, the human psyche versus the advancements of technology have developed so quickly in the last 20 years. Let's just say 20 years. I'm not taking away credit from anything that was done 40, 50 years ago. I understand there's been a lot of innovative advancements for sure, but nothing quite like we've had in the last 2 decades. I mean, honestly, some people might chalk it up to 3, but I'm gonna go ahead and round off to 2. You know, the last 20 years have been really tech savvy. Like, you know, I mean, just the development alone of some of the stuff we've come up with, it's just unbelievable. You know, it causes young folks to speed up their learning process, or lack of learning. You know, by that meaning, you know, the idea that you have all the knowledge of what we perceive to be the world at our fingertips at this point. You're learning what you in prior past days of future took longer to learn. You know, you're able to learn stuff in a faster pace now. What would have took you, you know, let's just round off and say roughly 2 years to study anything. Let's name something. I don't know, analytics when it comes to studying, you know, computers, whatever, algorithms, you know, any of those type of any of those fancy, you know, let's say book learning technology, you know, book learning terminologies. You can now learn that in 6 months if you know what you're doing, you know. What people went to school for. Damn, this Gundam Unicorn is really good. It was better than I thought it was going to be. You can see and learn stuff that you would have never had. The kids in the 80s are like, what the hell is going on here? Like, you know, we had to wait months for stuff to come out. Months and months and months. Even years of searching high and low on shelves and, you know, going to physical places, different stores, different areas, friends, you know, hell, in some cases not friends, but we had a common, you know, interest in stuff. So we traded tapes, we traded CDs, whatever, you know, just the idea that you can pull all that up right now at your fingertips. You got a little phone, you got a little computer, those little black mirror screen. You're pushing society so fast right now that it'll never slow down. At this point, we've put it into gear, and the ball is it's rolling. You know, for lack of a better term, lack of a less pretentious term, the ball is rolling, and it ain't ever gonna stop. You know, you have more people who want to be a part of something, want to be a part of a system. They want to, I can do it too. You know, they have the same attitude. When you have that, it kind of makes other things, you know, less worthy, less special. You know, let's just say it, less special. It's not worth anything when everybody can do it. What's the point in that? It used to be, oh, I can do something you can't, so I'm better than you. Now it's, everybody can do it, so what's the point now? That's my point about whether or not your memory, your legacy will be remembered. It doesn't matter who you are. I already told you, you can be famous, you can be this, you can be that. You know, 100 years ago, 200 years ago, the average Joe had a very low chance of being remembered, other than the tombstone or the urn they were placed into. And it was up to family members to hold on to that memory, hold on to that thought, that person's legacy, that person's memory. You know, I say memory. Not everybody had a legacy, but they definitely had a memory. I mean, and even if they had the technology that we have now, would you really care to look up somebody from like 200 years ago? It's totally irrelevant to your life. As another 100 years goes by, 300 years, another 100 years goes by, 400 years, another 100 years go by, 500 years. Not that any of us or any of the people I just mentioned or any of the people I mentioned after that or even after that will be around. What is the point? You know, why is there such a need to bookmark, catalog, save, document everything now? I feel that people are running out of time. Baby, your time is up. Whoa, baby, your time is up. Time is up. You know, extermination is your only hope. You're forced into it now, you know. You know you're running against the clock. That clock is named Father Death. Father Time and the entity that is death, the only mortal. Oh yeah, death is the only mortal. Damn, this cartoon's awesome. Yeah, that's what I'm watching. Unicorn baby girl, what's up? Oh, your time is up. Extermination, baby. Just like I said. But the point is, you're running against the clock. You're running against death. And you want to get it all in before the big show's over, right? That's kind of how I look at it. Before we're all wiped out. Even if catastrophe, even if a mass catastrophe does not happen, each one of you is going to leave this place, this dimension, whether you like it or not. Myself included, unfortunately. I'm not denying it. I'm not hiding. You know, I told you I'm not human, but it doesn't mean I'm not going to leave. I have plans to leave shit today, but you know, I have to wait for Act 2 to come out now. It's just a lot of stuff to analyze and think about if it really matters or not. You know, does it really matter? Will any of this really matter in the end? You know, even the non-special people, you know, the so-called normies, are doing what, you know, celebrities and you know, whatever, the famous people, the popular people are doing. You know, everybody's trying to do the same shit, whether they like it or not. Some are doing it better, some are doing it worse, some are primitive, some are innovative. Not a whole lot of innovations going on these days. Everything under the sun has been done already. Shit, we've been recycled multiple times. We just forgot. Humanity lost its memory somewhere. Some of us remember. was tight. You get what you get, and you won't get what you want. So that's what the kids do. They have a twitch, right? I got twitches, but they're not like that. Then I go and sober rants, baby. This is what happens when you're sober. It's just an illusion. It's a game, a dream, and it's reality. You know, they always talk about virtual reality. I'm just like, what about reality, you know? What about the idea that you're transcending from another spot somewhere else? It's almost like what we consider Wi-Fi. Imagine your body is the router, or maybe even you're the freaking computer. You know, your body is the host. Your vessel, your earthly vessel here is the monitor. You know, you're the base and the monitor, or whatever, your laptop. And you know, inside of you, you have like an ether, which would be considered what we call a soul, I guess. And it's transcending. It's emitting from another source somewhere else that you can't see. You know, you really can't feel it unless you're allergic to it, which is like, apparently, I know of one case that happened in England where a girl died from Wi-Fi. Yeah, look it up, that's true. It happened in England. Poor girl, young girl too, 13, 14. She had allergies to Wi-Fi and ended up dying. Something to do with her period. I don't know. I just know it's one documented case. I digress. But you're transcending from somewhere else. And unlike the previous generations, we're able to document the physical representation of ourselves here and hopefully keep it as a record, you know. I told you, you would have, back then you would have had, you know, maybe they would have chiseled your name into the freaking cave and been like, yeah, you know, Lou was a really good guy, but hey, you know, on to the next one, on to the next one, on to the next one. On to the next one. So take that into consideration, and you know, keep wondering if your views and opinions matter, because I'm 100% sure they do not. Now, mentally, that's a different story. Physically, you have no control over what's going to happen. The population is leading itself into demise because leaders that were elected, not even by you, not even by your parents or their parents or their parents. And then before that, you have people that were grandfathered into it. I always wonder, what about Washington? What about the people before Washington and those people who established America? Do you know what that's called, ladies and gentlemen? I'm going to go off for a minute here. That is called the deep state. There are people and organizations and families that are tied into shaping, monetizing, and delivering a package which is called America. At least in this country. At least where I happen to be at this moment. I have no plans of going anywhere else. I don't make these videos for any other country except for America. Keep that in mind. Take it however you want. I could care less. I couldn't care less. So, and there was something before something, and you cannot be somewhere where someone has already been and claim it to be new, you know. Someone has been there before you, and someone will be there after you. So what's the point, you know, right? What's the point? That's my whole point right now, is that it's not going to matter. It ain't going to matter.